Hi, I'm Katie from What Katie Did and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to wash your lingerie and stockings, and although this might sound quite basic, there are a few rules you really need to follow if you want your lingerie and hosiery to last as long as possible and look as pristine as long as possible. At What Katie Did, we always recommend hand washing your lingerie and hosiery, and this goes for any quality lingerie and hosiery. You want to keep looking as good as possible for as long as possible. I have to admit that I do have some lingerie, for example sports bras and the underwear I wear to the gym, that goes in the washing machine, but anything remotely fancy that I wear on a day-to-day basis I hand wash. To begin with, this actually sounds like quite a chore, but I actually find it very relaxing to spend half an hour on a Sunday afternoon washing my lingerie. So why can't we just throw it in the washing machine? And what about all these lingerie bags you can get to put your lingerie in the washing machine? Well, of course, your lingerie is your lingerie, so you can do what you want with it, really. But I'm just telling you what I do and what I've found really works for me. The laundry bags you can get, the lingerie bags you can get to go in the machine, yes, they will protect your lingerie. It'll stop it getting tangled and twisted, especially bras with other pieces in your washing machine. But what I have found over the years, and I have had horrible experiences with this over the years, and it drives me nuts, is that if you put a light colour in the washing machine, it will pick up other colours, and it's so easy to ruin your favourite bra. If you know What Katie Did, you'll know we do a lot of peach lingerie, and over the years I've damaged quite a few pieces by putting them in the machine, sometimes by mistake and sometimes just because I was in a hurry and I really couldn't be bothered. So now, really for the last few years, I have been religious about hand washing my lingerie, and I do it once a week, and it really doesn't take very long at all. And once you get into the habit of doing it, it's really just the same as washing your makeup brushes. It's just getting into the run of doing it once a week, and it soon becomes part of your routine. Also, at this time when we're all inside due to coronavirus, it is nice to spend time doing something productive and something which is going to improve your life just that tiny little bit, which isn't very stressful, and it is kind of a mindful practice to wash your lingerie and do the old-fashioned things. It's making you productive, it's making you feel good that you're doing something useful as well, and also it's not stressful at all, so it's a win-win all round. I should quickly mention stockings. If you're new to sheer stockings, and I know a lot of you are, yeah, definitely no way do you put them in a machine, and this is really there's no choice about this. Where with lingerie, say you've got our black bullet bra, which is made from satin and it's all black and it's hard wearing, then yes, you can put it in the machine if you really want to, but when it comes to sheer hosiery, never put it in the machine because it is just so delicate. So if you wear 80 denier tights in the winter, yes, of course, throw them in the washing machine and everything will be fine. But if you wear sheer hosiery, then it is really best to hand wash. And actually this winter I did find myself wearing a lot of Snag tights. And if you know the company Snag, they do brightly coloured tights, and I've been throwing them in the washing machine with the rest of my opaques, and I have noticed that the colour has faded, so I have made a resolve to, when I restock for next winter, to make sure I hand wash, to make sure the colours don't run and get faded over time. First of all, you need to grab an old pillowcase, and I've got mine here, and instead of throwing my lingerie and hosiery into my laundry basket with the rest of my laundry, I keep it separate in here. And this is basically, if you live with other family members, however careful anyone is, if it is in with the rest of your laundry, yes, it can get damaged in there, and yes, it can end up in the washing machine by mistake because you just put the whole lot in together. So rule number one is to keep everything separate in the bag here. So when I do my laundry, I have my little bag, and first of all I tip it all out into the bath to see what I've got. And the bath is a good place to put your laundry because there's no sharp edges on it, so you don't have to worry about it getting snatched or snared or hitched or anything. So that's my first step. So I have to admit here, I haven't got all my lingerie. This is kind of a Blue Peter. This is one I made before. So I've got a few pieces. I normally do a lot more than this, but this will just give you a general idea of what I do. I use a gentle, delicate laundry detergent. I like Ecover because it's environmentally friendly, but of course you can use any you like. If you're feeling particularly fancy, you could use the shower gel version of your favourite perfume, and that makes everything seem very, very luxurious. Don't use normal washing powder, because not only does it not dissolve, because it has to be very, very hot for washing powder to dissolve, but also it's very, very mean to your hands and you end up with really dry hands. So I always use a delicate hand wash. So I always start with the lightest colours first, and really it is just a case of swishing it around. So once I've done the first wash, I put it back in the bath and I start with the darkest colours closest to the plug hole and the lightest colours furthest away, because then the darker colours won't run into the lighter colours. So there has been a little bit of controversy about how often you should wash your bra, and I know Vivienne Westwood, the designer who I'm a huge fan of, she basically said she doesn't wash her bras very often at all, and she just dusts them down and puts them back on. For lingerie to look as good as long as possible, if you wear a matching set, I really recommend that you wash the whole set together, because then if it does fade, then it will fade equally across the set, so it'll still match perfectly. So that's what I do. So it does mean with my fancier pieces, I really only wear the bra once and that's it. So as you can see, I'm using the same water, so I start with light and I go through to the dark, and sometimes I need to change the water, sometimes I don't, depending on how much I'm washing. And then we have our stockings, and the stockings you just swoosh around as well. You do have to watch the feet. The feet sometimes are a bit dirty, so you might have to give those an extra look and an extra scrub. One thing I have noticed since coronavirus and since I've been at home is that I've got natural nails for the first time in over 10 years. So I normally have gels, and gels basically make your nails indestructible and you have smooth edges. And I've noticed since I've got my natural nails, I am getting a lot more snags on my nails, and I'm breaking nails when I'm doing my cleaning and everything. So you do need to check your nails before you wash your nylons, because you know the slightest little snag can snag your stockings when you're washing them. And I can see now the water's getting quite dirty, because obviously stockings, I walk to work and I walk across fields and it's dusty. It's hot weather at the moment, so it's dusty, and I pick up the dust, and the dust needs to be washed out. So now I fill up the sink with cold water to rinse everything. And then I do exactly the same as I did the first time, so I start with the lightest colours first, moving on to the darker colours, and then onto the stockings. And I squeeze them out. This is just like a first squeezy out thing. So when I hang up to dry, actually most of the time I hang up in the bathroom. The thing is with lingerie is it does dry very, very quickly. With underwear you can give it a good squeeze, but with the bras you do have to be a bit careful because of the underwiring. So it's a combination really. It's not totally drip dry, but it's not like a good wring out that you do with other clothing. So I've got my stockings and I hang them up by colour. And I always hang them up by the toes, because basically the toes, you generally don't see the toes, so it doesn't really matter, and it means they don't get snagged or anything halfway up the leg. And you can really give the stockings a good wring out, and the good thing about stockings is that because they're so sheer, they do really dry overnight. So if you only have a couple of pairs, that's really all you need, because you can dry them overnight and wear them the next day. And these are fully fashioned, and they really are sheer, and you can tell they're so tiny when they're wet. So that's everything hung up to dry, and I'll just strip this over the floor a minute to show you look how long the fully fashioned stockings are compared with the ones with lycra. And then I hang that up to dry, and that's everything done. I really don't like to dry my hosiery outside, because if it's on the washing line, then it can get tangled up with anything else and it can get damaged. So yes, if it's a nice day, I'll hang my lingerie out to dry on the washing line, but I definitely, my hosiery, my stockings, I'll always dry indoors. So you might have noticed my hosiery hanging device, which my husband made for me out of a vintage wooden coat hanger and pegs. But if you don't want to make one of those yourself, then you can use a plastic one that you can get in any dollar store or pound shop. But I almost forgot to show you this. And back in the 50s, when people wore stockings every day, they did actually sell devices for you to dry your stockings with. And this is one of the ones I've got. And I have got a few more, but obviously I'm not in the office at the moment, so this is the one I've got to hand. And it is a Lowe's stocking dryer, so we can see the box there. So the idea is that you hang this on the wall, and then you slide the toes of your stockings in between each groove there, and then they hang up to dry. And I really like the description on this. It's like this piece of pink plastic, and obviously when you're not using it, you can fold it up like that so it doesn't stick out very much. But it says it's an attractive wall decoration when not in use, so you can have your attractive wall decoration there. I'm not sure if I'd have it as an attractive wall decoration, but I guess it would look quite cute in the right place. So that's it for my lingerie and hosiery washing routine. If you do have any questions, please get in touch, and in the meantime, take care, and I'll catch up with you soon.